Hello there, I'm Scotty, and you're not. And, so it's time to start the next franchise. I'm gonna try to knock them all out this week. You're watching this on Monday. I'm recording this on the previous Wednesday because I'm gearing up for something this weekend. So I'm just trying to film some stuff to go. I'm gonna be out of town next weekend as well. So I'm just trying to film some stuff. There might not be any My GM stuff unless I can find a time to film that. But we're going to try to do all these movies this week. So we're starting off. I'm now tackling the Purge franchise, which will take us through the Purge, the Purge Anarchy, which these are the only two I've seen so far. I'll explain why. The Purge Election Year, the First Purge, and the Forever Purge. So let me explain my experience with the Purge franchise, okay? First one came out and I thought the idea was interesting, if not ridiculous, because it would never happen, you know? No government's going to pass a law that says, oh, for one night, all crime is legal, including murder. Do what you want for one night. There's no way anyone's going to pass that. So it was all weird. But I saw the movie, and I liked the movie. I still like it. I have some problems with it. And then I went to the theater to see The Purge Anarchy. And I liked this one even better because it expanded upon the concept of the Purge and actually showed us what we wanted in the first film. It gave us, you know, more what we wanted. This was scaled down where it was, you know, just a home invasion movie, basically. And this one was more of a out in the open world, an open city fight, trying to survive. And that was fine. And then they announced they're going to have Purge Election Year. And that started the politic part of this franchise. And I went, nope, don't care about politics. So I was out. But apparently, and spoiler alert, I've watched all the kill counts on Dead Meat, which are some of his biggest kill counts, I would say. But apparently in this one, they ended the Purge. There was an election, the Purge was ended. So they came out with the first Purge to contradict that because they still wanted to make money. So the first Purge is a prequel showing how it all got started. And that made money. So instead of continuing from that, there's the Forever Purge, which takes place after the events of Purge the Election Year, which makes no sense. And according to the kill count for that, they just basically brushed over that movie by saying, oh, someone else was elected. And they brought it back. So, you know, that makes this one pointless. But we're going to start from the beginning. The Purge. For 11 hours. 12 hours. All crime is legal for 12 hours. When the intruder, including murder. And this movie takes place on March 22nd. So I'm one day late recording this. You're going to get this later than that. But I'm recording this on March 23rd. So I'm one day late recording this. But, yes. And it tells of a family whose patriarch designs and sells security systems for a living. And security systems that have kept them all safe. But on this night, things are going to go haywire thanks to a psychotic boyfriend and a vagrant who wanders in and is saved by the sun, and some purgers want to, as they say, release the beast. Alright, so this film opens up with a bunch of footage of people getting murdered and telling us the statistics about, you know, in 2022, which is this where this one takes place? 2022? Or is that when it happens? I don't know. Because we're in 2022 now, and it's March 22nd, 22 is Purge Day. Yesterday was Purge Day, so I don't know. But they have the annual Purge coming up. And they're just living their own lives, driving. And then there's a radio show. And there's like, oh, what are your plans for... Someone asks them, what are you planning? I'm going to kill my boss. Well, I hope he doesn't listen to your radio show, because then your plans are going to go out the window. Apparently, Class 4 weapons or lower are legal. I don't know what that means. I'm not a weapon person. So yeah, the biggest thing that came out of this when it came out is that people thought that this could actually end up becoming real, and to that I say no. Like I said, no one is going to pass a law, and if they do, it just makes no sense. And they spend no time explaining how it works. They just say, it just works. It works. It works. They don't give an explanation as to why. They give a little bit. Oh, it releases the catharsis so that no one else wants to, so that they don't do anything for the rest of the days of the year. But in my opinion, like, if you were able to unleash stuff for one day, one night, 12 hours, why would you stop? Like, you're going to stop because someone tells you to? No, that's not how it works. Human beings aren't going to listen in this case. You're going to go out there and you're going to start committing crimes. You're going to stop. Oh, looks like we're out of time. No, that's not how it works. People aren't going to listen to that. There's no way. There's no way it'll ever happen. Well, we got the Sandins here. Ethan Hawke plays the patriarch, Mr. Sandin. His wife is Lena Headey. And their children are some weird long-haired boy and the chick from Rain. Tanaya 7. Adelaide Kane, who I follow on Instagram because I like the actress from Power Rangers. I don't watch Rain, but I watch Power Rangers. She was on Power Rangers RPM. And she's a very lovely lady. But, in this, she has a boyfriend named Henry. And I want to correct this, because I've watched the Nostalgic Critics review for this many times, and it just bugs me. Henry is not the name of the Purger that goes after them. It's the boyfriend's name. But in his review, he says the boyfriend, and then calls the Purger guy with the smiley face Henry. That's not Henry. He has no name. They don't give him a name in this. He's just a Purger. And Henry's the boyfriend's name. Played by Tony Aller, who's there. They don't know he's there, but he's in there with the daughter. And then he's like, oh, I gotta get going. It's gonna start soon. And yeah. So I wanna mention this, because the Nostalgic mentioned it, and I think he has a point. Because when I was watching this, I thought of this. So they're sitting there eating dinner, and they stop eating dinner because it's time for Purge. So everything. But when this movie starts, they say they have 1 hour. So 1 hour. It takes 1 hour for all this stuff. For Mr. Sandin to drive in, for the daughter and the girlfriend to talk, the brother to run around the house with his little machine thing while the mom is finishing up making dinner, then goes outside, talks to some of the neighbors, come back in, they have some conversations, they eat dinner, and this all happens in 1 hour. Highly unlikely, but let's move forward. And so everything is locked down, the purge is commencing, you get the annoying re sound, and, we start. Henry shows up, and I mean the boyfriend. Henry the boyfriend shows up, and he shows up, and he starts to get a little wah with his girlfriend, and then he stops, and is like, I didn't come here for you. Came here for your dad. And I'm like, wow, why doesn't she get it? Every time I watch it, I'm like, why doesn't she figure it out? I came here to talk to your dad. Bitch. She just lets him, and I'm like, bitch, it's on. You're in the purge. You don't think for 1 second that he's here to bust a cap in your father's ass? Come on. I mean, come on. Also, I gotta say this to Henry. I know you're there to do a job, but there is no way this is going to go as well as you thought it would. even if you were to shoot him, that's your plan to be with her. Apparently he's 18, she's younger. You know, the actress was over 20, but his solution is to shoot her father. Don't you think that after this, she's probably not going to be as forthcoming as she was before? Like, you're going to shoot her and say, okay, now let's do it. I shoot him, the dad. I don't think she's going to want to be your girlfriend if you're shooting her dad. So why not, you know, kind of have the foresight to say, you know what, this might not go the way it's planned. At least let me get laid first. Then I'll go do what I'm going to do. Wouldn't that make more sense? Nope. Instead, he decides to go do this. She decides to put on earbuds because I don't know what she thinks Henry's going to do. And why doesn't she go with him? If she thinks he's going to talk to her, why doesn't she say, I'm going to go with you? No, she just says, okay, and sits there and lets him walk off. And then there's a fight gun. And she somehow hears the gunshots, even though she's got earbuds in. It comes out. And, hey, he's a good father. I didn't shoot Zoe, did I? I didn't shoot her. I didn't hit her. No, he didn't. He didn't shoot her. No. During this, though, around this time, the brother decides to let a homeless man, played by Edwin Hodge. Now, I almost said Aldous Hodge. It's his brother, Edwin Hodge. Into the house. This causes a panic as some other purges show up and tell them to release the vagrant, but he is gone, hiding inside the house. Yes. And it's at this point that I really hate the kids. Like, the brother hides. Like, they are... I don't know what kind of sense this makes. These purges are outside, and they're all separating within the house. There's also a vagrant. They don't know if they can trust in their house, but they're just going to separate. The daughter disappears. The kid is using that thing to roam around. It just, I don't know. And then you have one of the best characters in this film, the head purger, whose name is not Henry, but let's call him Purge Guy. I'll call him Purge Joker. So Purge Joker, you know, shows up, and he's like, we need to let us purge. And at first, before I watched it, I'm like, I think my biggest problem with this is going to be how they found out. But they do explain that it was their neighbors that told them. And I'm like, so, you know, there's hints as to where this film's going to end, how it's going to end. Like, the neighbors told them. Okay. Something's happened with the neighbors. But, yeah. Which we're going to talk about that, because that in itself is confusing, I should say. It's English. But, yeah, so they show up and they somehow get in the house, and with this top-level security system, and they get in the house, and like, you didn't return to us, so we're going to kill you, and this ends with Ethan Hawke being killed, but the neighbors show up and waste them, and say, they're not going to kill you. We are, because you've sold all these security systems and you're waving your money in our face. But you all live in the same neighborhood. You all have the same money. You all have to be crazy rich to live there. What the hell is the difference if someone has a little bit more than you? This is so tacked on. It's just like, oh, we need a way for them to survive. And then they need a head E. Channels both the wife from 300 and her character in Game of Thrones, and says, no, we're going to sit right here and we're not going to do anything until the sun rises. So they just sit there. And, yeah, James is dead, and that's the dad, and Ethan Hawke's character is dead, and then they all leave and it ends. And I'm assuming the homeless guy got away because he's in the next 2 ? I know he's in Anarchy, but yeah, the biggest complaint about this movie that I hear is that we don't get any real Purge activity. Like, we see things on screen of what goes on in the streets. We don't really get to see it. It's a home invasion film that could have just been called anything else. The whole Purge aspect didn't necessarily have to happen. This could have been a Strangers sequel for all we cared, for all we knew, right? It just doesn't, mesh. But I would say it's fine. I'll give it a middle of the road because I think it's decent. But yeah, we don't really see the full spectrum. We don't really see the point of the Purge. We don't see the full scope of what is capable of us. That's the sequels. But yeah, it's the middle of the road, definitely. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Purge? In the comments below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.